Hi folks, here to talk about SIP, structural insulated panels, and what it is, and then go on some tips and tricks and things I learned in doing this build that you see behind me. So what is SIP? SIP stands for structural insulated panel, and what it is a panel, a big slab of styrofoam sandwiched between two pieces of sheet metal. And on one side you have a groove, and the other side you have a narrowed down, what's called a tongue, so tongue and groove, and the panels slide together. So that is what SIP is. Okay, the first rule of SIP Club is gloves. I highly recommend you get a good pair of gloves with some cut resistance or a good layer of rubber or neoprene, whatever it takes to protect your hands because it's very sharp edges. So first rule of SIP, wear gloves. And what are the parts of SIP? We'll get into the basics just in a second here. Gloves on. Alright, so SIP, the foundation is made out of, it's called track and stud. So this is the track, this is the stud, also known as a C channel. You can see here, excuse me, this is the U channel, so this looks like the letter U, it's upside down. The open end, this is meant to go down to the bottom. Here's the track, which is, it looks like the letter C, which is your C track and your U track, and they go together like that. And then you put a drywall or sheet metal screw through it. Here's an example of a sheet metal screw, just a 1/2 inch sheet metal self-tapping screw. And you just sink a couple screws in there in each section where they intersect, and that's how you make your track, your foundation with track and stud. Then flooring, your standard 3/4 inch tongue and groove. This piece here has been cut down, but you can see the tongue side here. That's standard flooring, so that as you lay your pieces out, they interconnect here with the tongue and groove. That's your flooring. Another part here is your L bracket. The L bracket attaches to your foundation, your joists, like this, and again you put it in with sheet metal screws, and then the panels slide in into here, and you screw in from the side to hold your panels down onto this foundation. And then the other part is your cap, which covers the SIP panels. And these things are one of the primary reasons why you wear the gloves, because the corners as you cut them are very sharp, basically like working with knives. So again, that's why you wear the gloves. And then here's with the SIP panel and working with the track. So the track just goes over the end like that. Caps, you can close all sides, and then where they meet up, you can put in sheet metal screws. So on the side with the tongue, you can see here, fits very flush. And then on the side with the groove, you get a bit of a gap here, and there's different ways where you can work around that, but in and of itself it works fine. And that's how you work with SIP, with the various pieces. And now we're going to get into what I learned about working with SIP. So you have your two pieces. You got one panel here, you got your other panel here, and then you got your tongue side, you got your groove side, and then they slide together. Okay, here's something I learned on assembling the panels using your caulk, and this is not necessary, but I find it effective. And if you want to assure your watertight capability, this is a good way to do it. So you got your two panels laying on the ground, and you got your caulk gun here. So if you put a bead of caulk down the top edge of your tongue side, and then a bead of caulk down the bottom edge of your groove side, when you slide your panels together, then and allow them to set up, the caulk will make a good adhesive bond and help hold your panels together, as well as prevent water from seeping and penetrating into the side and perhaps starting a mold problem. So that's how you work with your caulk. Okay, you've got your panel here, you got your cap pieces, so assuming your panels are all assembled and the caulk is set up. Cap pieces, as I mentioned earlier, fit over this, and then you use your sheet metal screws to hold them in. If you have pieces that are not long enough contiguously, you can overlap them. It works fairly straightforward. To give yourself a good bit of overlap, then sink 1 or 2 screws in throughout, maintain structural rigidity. Just don't do it on a seam. And just don't end your cap pieces on a seam, so you want to avoid doing that. And then for your corner pieces, again, these are all reasons why you wear the gloves, because pushing on the corners easily get cut. You do your corner piece here, drop a screw into the corner here on each side, and then that's how you build the overall structural rigidity of the assembled panels. Okay, so that's pretty much about it for all the tips and tricks and things I learned assembling this unit here. One last thing, that all the panels have this plastic film on both sides of it. You can either peel it off or leave it on. We chose to peel it off on the inside and leave it on the outside for an extra measure of protection. Peeling it off is probably a whole other video. Can be challenging if their panels are kind of beat up. So that's one thing you want to think about as you plan out your build. So hopefully you found some value in all this, and good luck on your build. Thanks for watching.